I wanted to take this video, or take this opportunity to make this video, to talk about my current stance on Red Dead Online, and just sort of why I'm going to be stepping away from making content for it, and why I'm kind of unsatisfied with it. I want to start off, or preface, by saying that I think RDR2 is, like GTA 5, such a technical masterpiece that it's silly and small-minded to critique it. Like, it's an undeniable success. It's an undeniable mastercraft work of detail and craftsmanship and love. My issues are with Red Dead Online and the failure to apply the same loving brushstrokes to it that like GTA Online got, and the failure to sort of learn from the mistakes that GTA makes. It's things that I've echoed in a lot of these videos before, but the difference now is that I've canceled my PlayStation Online like Plus, and I've completely stepped away from Red Dead Online. For me, the issues are that like the shortcomings like GTA Online rest in the failure to expand and recognize the potential of the brand and the community. Like, I think GTA is getting better treatment and better content, but I still feel like the content could be a lot more deep and meaningful, and I feel like for a lot of people the fantasy was always to sort of be like an organized crime simulator, and I do think that roleplay has become really popular and taken over as well, but I don't think that I don't think the company has done enough to make it a better online experience in terms of like removing hackers and whatnot, as well as giving more tools to the players. But undeniably, I think that at least GTA Online is getting the support that it deserves, right? Like, I don't know, it feels like Rockstar's become a different company in the wake of the departure of Dan Houser, and just a lot of maybe restructuring or maybe, let's say, reorganizing with Take-Two leadership. Again, that's speculation on my part, but it certainly feels like there's been some kind of change in the direction or in the quality of the company that it once was, you know. And I'm sad because I know we're on the cusp of winter in RDO, and I always enjoy the seasonal shift, and I like how much more life and character the snow brings to the world. But like so many other people who've been playing RDO recently, it's just like the last several mediocre updates and like lack of content, or the really shitty minuscule content drops, have really just kind of further solidified my distaste with Red Dead Online. You know, I can't just keep justifying idly hoping that they're going to actually add more to the game, or do what they've implied they would several updates or interviews along the way. You know, like it feels like there's an undeniable disconnect between the developer and the community, and I don't mean that for everybody, but I certainly mean for the dissatisfied. It certainly seems like no one's listening to their complaints, which feel to me incredibly rational and justified. You know, and again, I don't want to imply that the game is bad or unsuccessful, because they've clearly decided to not do anything significant with it at this point, but they don't need to, because they have all these other projects on the go with the remaster and everything else. But it's a shame, because a significant amount of the traffic and growth for my channel personally was directly from RDO content. So there's an audience for it, not just in terms of playing it, but in terms of wanting to watch content. But for me, it's like I'm not enjoying my time there. You know, I can't keep looking at every Tuesday with discount beans with an attempted renewed optimism. And like, what's more is I'm not even interested in watching other content creators try to justify or maintain optimism. You know, between the recent event where I was overcharged, unable to get a refund on PS Plus, and just the fact that RDO was really all I was playing on my PS4, I don't know, I didn't have any reason to keep paying the monthly fees, and it expired in November. So I was like, well, all right, man, I think that's just the final straw, so to speak, to hang up my cowboy boots and hat. You know, I managed to hit a crazy high level of money and experience, and I've put a lot of hours in. You know, it's safe for me to say that I've done everything in the game. I found dozens of condor eggs, if not way more than that. I was pushing some absurd number that I've lost track of at this point. But like, I've had fun along the way, and I've had a lot of adventures and met a lot of cool players, and it unfortunately, though, felt painfully like the earliest days of GTA, and that everything we seem to get is just not conducive to deepening or furthering like our immersion in the world. Like, I don't know, it just feels like the lessons we learned from GTA didn't have any effect here, and the stagnancy and redundance of RDO is like the reason for its undeniable drops in popularity and newsworthiness. Like, they're not going to give us a DLC because the sales won't be there. Like I don't know. I mean, I can't see into the future, but it doesn't bode well for Red Dead Online, and that's the hunch and the feeling that I've got presently. You know, with the release of the GTA Trilogy Remaster and its horrendous launch and quality, they announced that more efforts will be moved away from GTA and RDO, and it seems like this is just another nail in the coffin, so to speak, you know, in this ongoing funeral for what an experience it could have been. Outside of all my whinging and whining, which again, if you found it bothersome, you would have turned it off at this point, but like, I hope you're enjoying the game. I hope you continue to enjoy it. I hope there's things there that you haven't discovered, haven't completed yet. You know, know, there's so much lovable handcrafted detail, but the things that I wanted and the things that I hoped for just aren't coming, you know? Like, I wanted there to be more immersive depth and similar features to the single-player game. I wanted to have a more identical experience. I wanted it to feel more biologically alive and organic, you know? And to me, it just feels like if you spend enough time there, I just feel like what are you? You're farming animals for money. I mean, once you've made enough money, you're not doing that. Are you just grinding for events? Like, once you've done enough of the game, you're basically just waiting for a new Tuesday content cycle to offer you something new. But like, between the leaks and the lack of developments, it's just nothing as exciting is coming. They're not as ambitious or creative as we all dreamed and hoped they would be, and it's a painful truth that I think is just undeniable. We're just getting recycled, reskinned, redundant, nothing content, and we don't get much consideration from Rockstar at all, let alone acknowledgments, you know? I don't know. I hope you and your friends are gaming things that you enjoy. I hope you're having fun. You don't need to waste time complaining about it. But for me, it's like I'm not having fun with Red Dead Online anymore, and I don't think they're doing with it what I want. So I think it's important for me to not settle for shit that I don't find fun or interesting, or stuff that doesn't want to evolve in an interesting direction. You know, Tarkov, for example, is a game that, while redundant and weird, has a direct path of evolution, and the teams behind it and the people behind it care, and they communicate with their community, and like the wipe that's coming and everything else. Like, it's interesting. It's fun to be part of that community, because not only do you feel like you get a dialogue with the devs, but you feel like your feedback can matter. You feel like your experiences can matter. Like, Red Dead Online feels like almost the same as single player, in that no one really cares about your experience. Like, I don't know. It just feels crass. It feels kind of cold to hope the devs would give a shit, because it just seems abundantly clear they don't. But I don't know. If you look on the social media feed, it's like they want to share screenshots, give this community sentiment, but they don't want to acknowledge like the blatant and broken amounts of hacking and cheating all over the servers everywhere. They don't want to talk about the lack of content that's been added to single player for Red Dead. They don't want to talk about the lack of quality of life improvements or issues that have been there for as long as they have. Like, we just want to pretend everything is fine. And a final note too, like, don't even get me started on tech support. Their tech support is atrocious. Like, and it's the same with PlayStation Online. Like, I don't know. I had an incident recently where it was like they charged me for something. It doesn't matter. I'm going down a rabbit hole. But like, the bottom line is, I hope you're enjoying what you're playing. Your time on this planet, however brief it all is. I don't enjoy playing RDO, and I'm not going to continue playing RDO. And until they give me a reason to, I have no interest in coming back. That being said, in spite of my stumbling through my like low-end attempts to produce anything of content in the malaise that I've been feeling, I also managed to pick up and play, and as well as beat through The Last of Us 2. So I'll have a bunch of that content coming, and I thank you if you're still here listening to this rant at 8 minutes in about Red Dead Online. And again, I hope you guys are having a good time whatever you're playing. I hope you're enjoying Red Dead Online if you are still playing it. But for me, I'm out. I'm folding. This, like I said, I'm hanging up my guns. So cheers, guys. But I'll still be making videos. Not really going to be doing the Red Dead Online thing. But as a nice little caveat, or at least a note of appreciation, I never actually finished the epilogue in its entirety from Red Dead Redemption 2. So I think that I might end up that might give me an excuse to go back and enjoy that as a single player thing. So we'll see. Cheers.